Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh Jeffreys video. In this video, I'm going to be repairing this BlackBerry Key 1 from TCL. This is an Android BlackBerry released in 2017. The screen is shattered and has fallen off the phone, completely breaking the cable. Around the back is also missing a drupelet from the iconic BlackBerry logo. I picked this one up from eBay for 185 Aussie or around 130 US dollars, which may sound excessive for a broken BlackBerry. However, here in Australia, BlackBerries are almost impossible to find, and the working ones are listed between $400 and $500. Unlike the BlackBerry Priv I restored recently, this Key 1 isn't made by the Canadian company itself, as they quit producing their own phones in 2016. This BlackBerry branded device is actually made by a company called TCL. There has also been many other companies to release branded devices, including the upcoming BlackBerry 5G. You may have noticed in the listing the display was still working and connected. However, the screens on these phones had a tendency to fall off. So during shipping, the box must have taken a hit or two for the screen to come loose. Upon opening the box, I was greeted to a detached display. While the seller could have added some bubble wrap around the phone to stop it moving inside the box, the screen needed to be replaced anyway. Also included was a different type of BlackBerry charger than what would have been included originally, and a new pair of headphones. To begin our repairs, I'll remove the already detached LCD. To open up the Key 1, I'll need to remove a piece of plastic up top right next to that headphone jack. It's glued and clipped into place, so I'll use a bit of heat to assist. This proved challenging as the gap between the frame and plastic piece is very tiny. I did put a couple of marks in the plastic in doing this, although replacement pieces can be found quite cheaply online. After removing the top panel, all that needs to come out is 2 Phillips head screws, and the top portion of the phone comes right out of place. In my case, the earpiece also came loose. To get the back panel off, it's simply clipped into place, so you can slide around a plastic pick to remove the back panel. Unfortunately, there is no user replaceable battery, but given how easy the back comes off, the hardest part would be finding a replacement battery. There is a small amount of adhesive for the lower portion, but it's ridiculously easy compared to all those fragile glass phones that are practically super glued together. This phone isn't dust or water resistant, and you can clearly tell that given the amount of dust that's accumulated inside. We'll clean that later on, but for now we're going to move across to getting the new screen on so we can actually test out the phone to make sure it actually works. I'll disconnect the 2 Phillips head screws from the battery connection and disconnect the battery. Proceeding with 3 more screws, I can remove a bracket and disconnect the LCD cable, removing what's left of it. For our replacement display, I purchased this one for $78. It was the only one here in Australia. However, you can find them for around $30 from China, but I didn't want to wait 3 months for a screen that probably didn't work, have to pay $30 to post it back, waste another month or 2 just to go out and buy this one anyway. With that settled, I'll need to clean the frame before I can test fit our new LCD. Positioning it into place, I tried to connect the screen connection onto the motherboard, however I came across a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure if it's something I caused or it came like this, but the connector pins were a little bent. Using a spudger, I could gently bend them back. Afterwards, the connector went in without any issues. Reconnecting our battery, flipping our BlackBerry over, we can see our replacement display is functioning. This phone was reset and ready to go. After setting it up, we can see our BlackBerry is functioning as it should. I'll need to remove the protective film from the back of the display and crack out some adhesive to stick this into place. I'll be using this stuff, which is E800. I have no idea what that stands for, but it's adhesive that comes out of a giant tube, and we'll be using that to stick this back down into place. Running it all the way around the perimeter, I can seat the new LCD into place, wiping away any excess. Further, I can place an object on top to add pressure while the glue dries. Afterwards, I suggest testing out the LCD to make sure it's all functioning as it should. With that good to go, it's time to clean the inside of this BlackBerry before we assemble it. I'll just use one of these anti-static brushes to brush away any of the dust inside. I'll reinstall the bracket and its 3 screws and reconnect our battery. The reason I'm not replacing it here is I couldn't find a replacement battery here in Australia. If anyone knows any reputable sellers to sell BlackBerry parts, please let me know down below. I'll apply some new adhesive for the back panel and give our back panel a good clean before we can reinstall it onto our device. I'll need to remove the protective film off of the adhesive, and the back panel simply clicks back down into place. Up top, I'll reinstall the earpiece speaker, which fell out when I removed the top portion of the phone, and clean that top piece prior to reinstalling it. For this, I use some alcohol along with a brush and microfiber cloth to remove any dirt and grime buildup on this piece. Pushing it back into place, I can reinstall the 2 Phillips head screws before reinstalling the plastic piece. I'd recommend replacing this part as it can get damaged during the removal, however I didn't do so here. In an attempt to repair our missing BlackBerry duplet, I'm going to be using this cap off a lid to try and reconstruct a little duplet to go in its place. Whilst the colour is almost correct, it's slightly off, but it should do. I'll cut out a section of this cap, as well as a little template of the duplet itself. I'll then adhere the duplet onto the plastic piece before trying to cut it out with some scissors. This proved a lot more difficult than I first anticipated, as this is absolutely tiny. I could have replaced the whole back panel, but considering it had no damage, I didn't see the need to. I tried sanding down my newly designed piece to try and make it fit in with the phone. The piece from the cap was quite a lot thicker, so a lot of sanding was done. As you can see, it kinda worked, but doesn't look very neat at all. So I opted just to draw it in instead. I went out and purchased a metallic permanent marker, so I'm going to try that to see if this would work and blend in nicely. I'll clean off our space using some alcohol and simply draw on our duplet. Honestly, I'm not sure how this will hold up durability wise. It's supposed to be water resistant and it's a permanent marker, but it may wear off over time. Either way, it looks okay for now. I'll remove the plastic protective film and we're done. So this is it, a fully functional BlackBerry Key 1. Cosmetically, it has a few marks around on the frame, however I didn't see the need to replace it as this is a phone I'd be using without a case. Because unlike a lot of other phones that are as slippery as a wet bar of soap and have a back constructed from a fragile material like glass, the back of this phone has a rubberized texture for extra grip. Whilst being a stealthy looking phone, it is lacking a few features found in the older BlackBerry Priv, such as an OLED screen, louder front-facing speaker, and of course that slide-out keyboard. But that aside, it runs a newer version of Android that's much faster than Android 6. Opening up settings, this phone has 32 gigs of storage, 3 gigs of RAM, and it's running Android 8.1, just like the BlackBerry Key 2. Don't let that box fool you, it's not running latest Android. That hasn't dated very well. And for a phone advertised as a secure smartphone, it's a shame it hasn't seen a security update in well over a year. Not sure whether that's due to BlackBerry or TCL, but someone dropped the ball with that one. Of course, being a BlackBerry branded device, it has all the software features to go along with it, from keyboard shortcuts, a programmable key on the side of the phone, a touch-sensitive keyboard, and a fingerprint reader in the spacebar. They really do know how to make some really useful features. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffreys video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and consider checking out the phone restoration playlist for more videos just like this one. And if you're looking for some tips or what tools I use to repair devices, be sure to check out my website, link for which is down in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.